Welcome to the Thresholds of Reality, the podcast where we explore unexplained and mysterious events, phenomena, and legends. Today we are joined by Justina Lasley, the owner-operator of DreamSynergy, a system for analyzing dreams and the meaning of dreams. And today she's going to help us kind of crack open our headspace and see what's inside. So strap in as we explore the edges of the unknown. Thank you for joining us, Justina.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Me too.
Now, one of the things that I'm always fascinated with is how people get into this is not what I would consider a traditional career or even a traditional psychology career.
Right.
But I feel like more and more understanding dreams is a very important part of that space. So how did you get drawn into dream analysis and dream psychology or however you want, DreamSynergy? You know,
Right.
how did you find this place?
I know it's very interesting. I grew up in a family that was more analytical, mathematic minded, questions and specific answers for those questions. And I actually, even as a child, didn't feel like I really fit into that. I was more about exploring and creative and making up things, and there was more creativity involved in my activities as a child. And so I remembered some dreams I had, but I didn't have anybody to validate in any way that they were important. As a matter of fact, it was just the opposite. It was a total waste of time to talk about such nonsense as dreams. But as an adult, I was introduced to dreams by Jeremy Taylor, who a lot of listeners may know, and he came to Atlanta to talk about dreams. And I heard the recording and I was just touched. It was like my life changed. I was like, really? Like, dreams are important. I should be paying attention. They have messages for me. They could be my guides in life. I didn't know any of that. So I joined a dream group that was formed after his visit. And there were only 3 of us in it. But I knew when I shared my first dream, I had written it down for the first time, shared it, and I saw how it really captured so much of my life. It was like a lens into my life, that things that I had not understood before. So I started, uncovering things. I thought, I have been in therapy. I have done all that. And still there were parts of my life I didn't understand. And the dreams really gave me an authentic answer to who I am, and showed me this unconscious information that was available to me, but I'd never grasped for it. So that was 30 years ago. And I have been definitely focused on dreams and dream work and leading other people to that in the past 30 years.
Do you still remember that first dream that you shared at that group?
I remember parts of it.
Okay.
Because I remember it went back and it was the dust. There were dusty roads and there was a wagon. Like it brought back the past, like a farming area of this wagon. And out of the back of the wagon, somebody was shouting, "Lord and Taylor, Lord and Taylor." And I immediately thought of the store. There was the Lord and Taylor's in Atlanta. But what I realized, which was so creative for me to, create in my unconscious, was that really described my parents as the Lord, the dominant male, And my mother was a seamstress, like beyond all others, and made all of our clothes, And so I just remember thinking, how did I ever make that up? It was perfect. And I don't remember all of it. I have it written down, but it was enough to show me there was more for me to know than I had ever thought would be available to me.
Now, one of the things that I think is really interesting is there's this concept of kind of an encyclopedia of dreams, and I think I've seen lots of these produced, and maybe you've contributed to one as well, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Um, are there archetypes or tropes that can be translated from person to person, or are they very personal to each individual?
Yeah, it is both, absolutely. And if we ever overlook one for the other or put more importance on one or the other, I always start off with the personal. I want to know what that image means to you. So, you know, whatever the image, I mean, we could name anything like a tree. What does a tree mean to you, Sam, or to you, Kyle? What is that to you? And then we could look into mythology and past, like what does a tree mean to your culture? And what does a tree mean to all of the world? And maybe in a personal way, there was just a beautiful tree that was cut down in your town or city. And there was a lot of energy, a negative energy going on about this event. Well, that would have a lot of meaning for you emotionally and importantly in uncovering the meaning of your dream. But then we know that trees connect heaven and earth. It's a connection. The roots go down into the earth. So is there, or family trees from branches, or nature, or all those things that no matter the culture of the individual, it would have these universal meanings. And that's important too. But I really like for people to go to the personal first. And one thing there are some good dream dictionaries there, but I really encourage people not to go online or to a dream dictionary and put, what does a cat mean? And because one of us right here may love cats, and one of us may detest cats, and a positive experience versus a negative experience, and the dictionary is going to give you one thing. But here's what a good dictionary will do. It will not say, if you dream of a cat, tomorrow you're going to fall off the roof and get killed. I mean, some dream dictionaries like very predictive, this is going to happen to you. And I do not use those dream dictionaries.
That sounds
Um,
more like a tarot card reading or
I mean,
something.
yeah, yeah. But a lot of them are like that. But what I like are the ones that do go into the mythology. Like I or somebody in my dream group or a client will dream about a golden figure, and the face is very detailed. They know exactly what it looked like, and they have no idea what it is. And I suggest that they go start looking, and Googling for this. And I cannot believe how often it comes up that that is a symbolic mask or some representation in ancient cultures. And it's still coming through to us, even though we haven't studied it. It's part of that, like you said, threshold of reality. There is so much more reality than we ever imagine in our lives. And we have access to that, a lot of that through dreams.
So, one of the things that I have noticed in my life, I have a bunch of kids. I come from a large family myself,
Mhm.
and I see these kind of same behaviors crop up time and time again. Is there is there something about those images that comes prepackaged in our minds? And it relates to how we behave in the waking world, as well as how we perceive our reality in the dream state?
Yes. I mean, our dreams are personal. Like, Sam, your dreams are about you. Kyle's dreams are about him, and my dreams are about me. And I always say that it's so much easier to understand the meaning of somebody else's dreams than our own. Just like we can sit in a room with people, even if we don't know the people, within a few minutes, we have already sized everybody up and we can totally tell. Or when they tell their dream, we're like, oh, yeah, I know what that means. But actually, that would be what it meant to me if I said that,
Mhm.
because I'm looking through the lens of my experience. So I can never tell anybody what their dream means. I say, when they ask me if I can interpret their dreams, I said I can interpret it for me, what your dream might mean for me, but you're going to need to interpret your own dream, and I can help you do that with tools of helping you see your reality. Yes, it's just, if you think about like a producer of a movie or the novelist, they are going to write about what they know, right? Their experience. That's what they use to create their story. And it's the same way with dreams. We use what we know, the experience of having a large family, being from a large family, the interactions of that family. We use that to as part of our creation of our dreams, and what happened the day before and what happened the week before. And a really interesting thing about dreams, it connects the past to the present to the future. So in one dream, it may start off in your great grandfather's house. Okay. So that's going to give me a tune of something. Let's talk about your grandfather's house and how you felt about your grandfather's house and some of the things that happened in your grandfather's house. Then it's going to give you a scene. It may be now of how old I am and I'm doing something in the dream, but it's going to relate back to that same feeling probably that I had as a child. And then the dream will give us an avenue and a path to the future of the best way now. You know, if there's certain things that are holding us back, certain family patterns you were talking about, things like that are generationally holding us back, belief systems that prevent us from really living our authentic life, then the dream will help us see the old belief system, help us process whether it makes sense anymore for my life, and then help us see what it would look like. What would my life look like if I didn't believe that I didn't deserve to succeed? You know, things like that are really interesting beliefs in family um, cultures.
You talk about the symbolism kind of in dreams where it's your grandfather's house, this tree. Like I had a dream the other night that I was, how like you go into somewhere and there's like a turnstile that you have to walk through and you hand someone your ticket. I'm walking up and Joe Biden is sitting next to Devin Booker, the basketball player, talking. And Donald Trump is sitting in a chair next to the turnstile like he's the guy that takes your ticket. And as I'm going through the turnstile, he goes, Kyle, if you need anything, just give me a call. And he hands me his card.
He hands you his card, his business card, trying to sign you up.
Yeah, and I woke up and I was like, well, that was weird because I'm not like a political guy. I'm not like, I don't really follow politics and,
Right.
anything like that. I was like, what an odd dream to have. Or,
Yeah. Isn't it amazing when I wake up, I was like, oh my gosh, I made that up. That's incredible. Busy during the night. Well, here's what I would suggest if we were I was working with you on your dream, and you can do as much as you want on that. But um, I use characters in the dreams as representations of parts of ourselves. So the characters in my dreams are playing the role of a part of myself. And I don't know if y'all, in dealing with this broadcast and stuff, talk about how we carry around these different things. I have the real serious part that's going to get the job done, and all of that. And then I have the foolishness part that loves April Fool's Day and playing jokes on everybody. And then I have the part that really likes to rest and be quiet. And I have the part that likes to be out and be active. And all of these parts, we all have that, and they're acting and reacting against each other. So there's often a struggle between this. So the characters, again, because we're so much better at seeing other people for who they are than we are ourselves often, I take them as parts of myself. So I would say to you, Kyle, give me 3 adjectives for Biden. I think he was the first one you mentioned in your dream. So you could just jot down 3 things, or you can tell me, or you can do none of it.
Let's see. 3 adjectives.
And it can be descriptive words. It doesn't have to be real adjective. Okay.
I would say leader.
What?
Leader.
Leader.
I would say sleepy.
Sleepy. Okay.
And then I would say, what would be a third one to describe Joe Biden?
Yeah, it has to come from you.
Come on.
Okay, that's okay.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I'll say calm.
What was it?
Calm.
Calm. Okay, and then David. Was it David?
Devin.
Devin.
Basketball player.
Yeah.
So I would say
real quick.
Superstar.
Okay.
Leader. Athlete.
Okay. And then Trump.
I would.
I don't have a bleeper, Kyle. You better keep it going.
I know. You just said you're not political. Okay. This is just a dream. I mean,
outlandish.
Okay.
Self-absorbed.
Okay.
And
you can get the other one. That's enough.
I would say like undelightful. I would say aggressive.
What?
Aggressive.
Okay. And I think all of that would go over with anybody. Would agree. Okay, so this is what I would tell you to do, and you may have to, y'all can decide, the time wise. But I would say, do you know the part of yourself, the leader, that's a leader, and a little very calm and a little sleepy? Do you know that part of yourself, and to imagine that part of yourself, like acknowledge it, like, yeah, when I'm doing so and so, that's me.
I am a very sleepy person.
Okay. And then the part of you that is the leader and athlete and superstar kind of guy.
I'm not an athlete.
But superstar in some roles. Can you see yourself?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not well, Sam thinks I'm a leader, but I'm not a leader.
Okay. See, because the dream is asking you to be more than you are accepting. So the dream is always asking us to be more and to acknowledge our abilities, skills, and to move and embrace our unique talents and skills, our authentic selves. And so they're saying, I'm not sure. There's a peek at what I could be. I could be like that. I admire him. I could be like that. And then Trump, the outlandish, self-absorbed, and aggressive part of you. You got that? We all have that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us, we learn to not show it in certain situations that we know are not helpful. Some people never learn that. And, but we all have these parts. And the more we can accept that we have some negative parts, which in psychology we call the shadow. Carl Jung was the first one that brought that term, is the shadow. And we have to see. And the shadow is the part in the dream that's handing me the business part. So there's just so much in every aspect of the dream. That's great.
That makes sense. I'll have to start doing that
Work
more
on
often.
that some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Sam,
I was thinking of totally different words when you were explaining your dream, Kyle. I
See?
had completely different words.
Well,
So
see, Sam, that's a great example of why I can't interpret and tell people what it means. When they say something, and even I'm reminded over and over, sometimes it seems so obvious what that represents. And so I'm thinking in my mind, I not only know what those represents, but I actually know what your dream means. But I keep my mouth closed, and then it goes revolved, and I just have to start laughing because I was totally off the wrong way. And the person, I was like, see, Justina, you do not know what another person's dream means.
that's a great insight. Yeah, my daughter will often share dreams with me while we're driving to school. I think she's just trying to fill the dead space, but she'll talk to me about her dreams, and
It's
I
wonderful.
usually just keep my mouth shut and say, "Wow, that's crazy."
You know what? That is it is a huge thing we can do for the next generation. And I have grandchildren now. And as a matter of fact, one of my grandsons was helping me set things up and stuff, the producer of the program today. And he said, you love to talk about dreams. And I said, I do. I have them write down their dreams and we talk about dreams. I mean, before they can write, they draw and then they tell, because that is linking them to their inner God. I say it's our 24/7 inner therapist. We have this freely every night. Everybody's dreaming 5 to 6 dreams a night. That is, we just aren't remembering. It's not that people don't dream, people don't take time to remember.
hmm
We're not wired to remember because dreams are doing some of the processing on their own. They're sorting the day's activities, they're, just making sense of some things. But oh, the difference we can make for ourselves if we add more to that by really exploring those concepts. And with children, they're so open to it and they understand in a way we as adults can't. I mean, a great thing to say to a child is, what do you think that was about? But do keep your lips zipped for what you think it was about, because that doesn't really matter. You know, um, it's just so important. Or say, hey, that was a cool dream. You ought to draw a picture of that. You know, what about you draw it? It's
Hmm.
good.
I'll
It's
have to encourage her to do that. Uh,
yeah.
she's now 16 and she's
Oh,
she's going through a lot of transitions in her life, and it's been really interesting to say it the least.
16. Give her a dream journal.
Okay.
I can't think of a better gift to give her. If I had my dreams written down, it almost makes me cry. I would love to have truly known that person, because that would have been that authentic person, not the person wondering who I am and how it's going to be and what do I represent and who are my friends and not my friends and all of that. 16, 20 dreams. I love to talk to high school groups and to college classes because they are at that point in their life, they're making major changes for their life. And to begin to accept, yes, I'm a leader. Yes, I could be a superstar. Who do I admire? If I admire them, I actually have some of the qualities that they hold. That was really impactful for me, that we admire different people. I thought everybody admires the same people, but it's you ask a room full of people and it'll be different for each person.
I admire Sam.
Oh, that's
Okay.
sweet.
All right.
Okay,
That's enough.
good. Well, you look at his attributes, Sam's, and take them on, Kyle.
I do. He's my go-to.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
All right, enough of that. Now, the I guess the question I was trying to get at was how much of our dreams do we inherit from ancestry, and how much is just kind of a display or a problem solving for today for me personally. Because it seems like the dream dictionaries or dream encyclopedias wouldn't have much use unless we were inheriting those imagery and the understanding from past
Right.
generations.
Right. I do believe that it's part of our DNA. You know, those things in the lives of people before. And I think, we do have access to some of that. It just doesn't make sense of what come from people's dreams that they really had no idea of in images and things. And worldwide, and internationally, if I have a dream group and people from all different countries, it's really amazing how sometimes it's very similar, no matter the culture, indigenous cultures from the United States, European, all kinds of things. And we still have these same images that mean the same thing to us collectively. But we also, the culture plays a role in it because the culture puts importance or lack of importance on different kind of things within the culture.
Hmm.
So it's just so it's everything. It's there's no limit. That is one thing I've learned in 30 years is there's no limit to what we know and what we are able to access if we're able to access it.
There are some things that kind of surprise me how seldom they show up in dreams though. Like I have never had a dream about a cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my
I
gosh,
never
my
dream about my
dreams
phone.
about a cell phone and punching those buttons and trying to call 911 and I
I've
can't
had
get the
I've
phone to
had
work.
the old rotary phones have shown up in dreams, or just the little 10 key typing in. Those have shown up in my dreams, but
But not a current
never a smartphone.
smartphone. Oh, there you go. Never a smartphone. I'm just kidding. Okay. So
Okay, all right, hey,
I was gonna
fair
like
enough. You got
I
me.
was gonna like that one. Okay. But no, but you have to pay attention, like what you just called it, a smartphone. Am I using it in a smart way or something like that? I'm not using the smartphone. I'm using the old. So for me, in my dream, I would think about communication. If I am dealing with phones and old phones, and am I communicating in an old fashioned way, and does that serve me or not? Because I'm not going to put a quality on whether it's good or not until I explore it. So why am I not using new technology, or new ways of thinking it? A technology could be a metaphor for a million things in life, but new ways of doing things it could be. But dreams, see the dream language, people go, I don't understand my dreams. Therefore, I don't pay any attention to them because they don't make any sense, right? So dreams speak in metaphorical, symbolic language. And we have to pay attention and learn that language to be able to speak the language of dreams. It's just like if I said today, I really want to understand French. And so when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm hoping that I'll be speaking French. But people expect that same thing with dreams. They're like, you know, I want to understand my dreams. Well, then start making an effort to do that.
Yeah.
And
And
the best way to do that is like the dream journal to start, right?
yes, the dream journal, and this book, The Wake Up to Your Dreams. I wanted. People always said it's just too complicated. Dreams are too complicated. So this was the last book that I wrote, and because I was like, I want to speak to those people who think it's too complicated, and I want to make it more simplified. And so that's what I did. And you mentioned the DreamSynergy, which is a process that's used by our Institute for Dream Studies. And we teach this DreamSynergy process because it looks at three basic aspects of dreams, and that's the characters, which we've already talked about, the emotions, which we've talked about a little bit, but knowing how we feel about something is so important and so much camouflage in our world today, even though it doesn't appear to be, but things that are underneath the actions of how we really feel. And then beliefs, which has already come up today, because if we can recognize the parts of ourselves, recognize how we truly feel, what are the emotions, mad, sad, glad, or afraid, be real clear about what we feel, be able to express that, and then know what beliefs that we're carrying over from maybe 4 generations before that are being passed down to us. And we never stop and go, let me make a list of my beliefs and see if they're serving me. And that's why, like in this book, I have a list of different beliefs that are limiting for people. And, if I want a job done well, I have to do it myself. I mean, that's a very limiting belief because we can only do so much ourselves. And if we don't learn to trust other people to help us, it's very limiting. Or that where I see people, that really have been told over and over that they will never amount to anything. And they believe it. And they make sure they don't. They sabotage themselves over and over. And once they realize, they're like, oh my gosh, I do believe that. And so I always have them create a new belief system to fill that void, you know. I, but I would, the reason I added beliefs is in working with people, I saw with the characters' emotions and other things that people began to change, but sometimes over a year or two or something, they would start slipping back. And I was really curious, like, what is happening? What is preventing them to fully embracing this new change? And it was almost always a belief system that was getting in their way
Okay.
and sabotaging.
I do want to I had another example of I feel like the interface between me and the experience is eliminated in my dreams. So I look at the smartphone as an interface between me and
Mm-hmm.
knowledge or experience or whatever. I will dream of flight, but never an airplane. I will dream of competition, but never like traveling to somewhere
Mm-hmm.
the interface itself kind of vanishes in my dreams, and it's just me and the experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I'm flying in dreams, it's without an airplane. It's just personally.
Oh, are you flying? I love that. No, I mean, you yourself are flying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. And it's wonderful, isn't it? It's my
yeah. It's a lot
favorite
of fun.
thing. It's so, how does it feel? See, that's the first thing I would ask you. How does it feel when you're flying in your dream?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was younger, it was a lot like learning how to swim. Starting with the dog paddle.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, it's more like it's like I've gotten an upgrade, and I fly a lot more like Superman than I did at first.
I still flap
Uh,
my arms when I dream that I'm flying for some
do
reason.
you really, Kyle? You flap your arms? See,
Like almost
yeah,
like
like pushing yourself
Yep.
up. Right. And Sam, what you're doing is just taking off and going right now. And a lot of that is process, like you said, where you were first like maybe running to get up and get the speed, and then maybe you were doing this. And now I often say in dreams to people, like, it's so easy. Look, you just go and it just feels, I totally believe I can do it. I really, even in this moment, I'm thinking I can do that sometimes, just like rise above and float around a room. And I'm always showing people it just feels so good. But for me, that's a sense of freedom and not being tied to something. And it's a great feeling. It's like so light, none of this like tethered down kind of feeling. that might happen in another situation. So I think how we feel in the dream is key. Like that's what I have people write down the title of the dream first and then write down their emotions of the dream. How did they feel in the dream? And I like for them to get to the mad, sad, glad, and afraid. And, if people want to contact me for that vocabulary of emotions that's in the book, I could definitely send it to them, through email if they want that.
All right, so I'm going to. Now's probably a good time. I'll post the.
Okay. Justina, or you can go to that DreamSynergy.com. That would be good. That
I'll put it up here.
That's it. That's it. And there's a contact me on that, and they just tell me they want the vocabulary of emotions.
So one of our listeners, Mojo Quid, which is a friend of multiple of our shows, he said, I had a dream last night that my ex's mom called me for help with cleaning out a house. I ended up fighting the ex's current boyfriend, dumping cat litter on both of them. That's funny.
That was it. That was it. Yeah, leave that up a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, because Mojo is not here for me to talk to or we discover it. But if he were here, what I would say is, again, write down these characteristics of ex's mom, characteristics of ex's current boyfriend, and then see what part of me that is I don't even like doing that because in my dream groups, sometimes I'm share a dream and so the group gets to talk about my dream. And so I will be saying, yes, ex's mom, oh my gosh, she was terrible. And she did this and that. And then somebody that's been in my dream group for a long time goes, well, Justina, what part of you is that? And I was like, oh, see, and the leader is not a part of me. It's a part of me. Yes, it's a part of me. But yeah.
And then he shares another little detail. Cat litter got in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. So how did that taste? How did that feel? Sure. And what is a cat? And what is cat litter? See, cat litter, we know what it hides, right? So, something's in there and trying to cover up something, for me.
Vile.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so much fun. Dream and DreamWorks are delightful, and it is funny. Sometimes I really have a hard time not laughing at a client's dream when they think it's so serious because there are little things in there that I think I see it as God for me, whatever the higher power that gives us this ability to dream. And I just think it's like, wait, don't take yourself so seriously. Really? These are important things, but you got to laugh about where you are and what's going on, to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I think dreams, I don't know when it happened to me, but I stopped really remembering them. I will remember maybe one or two every couple months. For the most part, like as soon as I wake up, it's the half-life of it is so fast. Mm-hmm. And by the time I'm on my way to work, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. You are so right. And this is why I really encourage people to make a commitment. I think intention and commitment are the most important and the first things for dream work. That we can't just, haphazardly say again that we want to get these messages from our dreams. But I also encourage everyone to not make a commitment that you can't keep. So rather than saying, I'm going to write my dreams down every night, and then it's something just too hard because you have to get up, you have to get the children up, go to school, get them to school, all these things, you can't do it. But what if you said once a week, I am, maybe Saturday morning, I'm really going to take time to write my dream down. and really explore it. And one thing that I have done is to create exercises. I really like doing that. I call them exercises to go into the dreams. So in Wake Up to Your Dreams, it'll have different exercises that you can do. Do this, ask yourself this, write about this. And so you can take any of these and explore your dreams. And I still do that. I grab the book because I sometimes you get caught up in the dream, and there's some real simple ones, or looking at emotions or beliefs or characters in the dream. But that is the way to start doing it. And you can even, by telling the dream, say you didn't have time to write it down, but instead of your daughter telling you her dream, a great way to show that you honor this unconsciousness and the mind that we're giving is to share your dream in the morning, on the way taking her to school. I had this dream last night. I want to share it with you.
No? Oh, man, I don't know. I don't always have PG rated dreams.
Hey now.
Oh, well, yeah.
Hey now.
You might, that's okay. You might, all of them you wouldn't tell, but maybe once in a while.
Sure.
You might, yeah. So tell somebody. It's that is another level
You tell me, Sam.
Working with it and becoming, what did you say?
I said you could tell me, Sam.
Thanks.
Well, that intention and commitment's huge. First thing. And just buying a dream journal is a commitment. Putting a date in it, write your name in it, anything.
I wish I would have wrote down every time that I had a dream that I swallowed the remote or spoons. Because
that's a recurring dream for you.
Yeah. And I'll wake up trying to throw
Choking?
it up. No, I wake up trying to throw it up because I really think that I swallowed a spoon or a remote or a fork or.
So a fork or a spoon would be what? Tell us in real simple words.
Like an actual spoon.
Yeah. Well, tell me I don't know. Okay, what a spoon is.
Like almost like a soup spoon, like a silver.
No, I don't know what the word
more basic, huh?
Like in the dictionary, spoon, colon. What does it mean? A utensil? For what?
Like a utensil. I Googled it. A
utensil for eating. I mean,
yeah.
It's a utensil I use.
Oval, round, handle.
Yeah, but that's what yours look like. It would be important whether it was a spoon you were familiar with or not. But
the remote is my TV remote.
Okay. And then to think, what is a remote? If I'm from Mars, I don't know what a remote is. What is a remote?
A little box with numbers on it. And
what's it used for?
Turn on the TV.
Okay.
Turn the channel.
Okay. And so it turns on and off the TV or switches the channel, right? Mm-hmm. And so I really have to explore both are utensils in a way,
Yeah.
One's used to put food inside of me. One is used to turn on and off the TV. How do I use them in my life? Is it something that I'm ingesting? Is it something good for me or not good for me? Is it about eating? Is it about watching, serial TV all the time? Why am I trying to get it back up? Why is it not agreeing with me? Why is it, But recurring, you mentioned it was a recurring dream. So, people, even if they say they don't remember a dream, if I ask a crowd, do you remember a nightmare? Everybody raises their hand because they remember. I imagine Sam, you and Kyle both have a nightmare that you could bring up. And so people really think of nightmares as being other than dream. But I say it's a dream that hasn't been listen to, because a dream comes and giving us a message, an important message, something we don't know. We would not dream this message if we already knew it. So
Yeah.
it's always new information that we do not have access to. And so if we don't listen, it's going to come again and again. And we have recurring dreams, maybe different objects, like you say, one time a spoon, one time a remote, maybe something, a fork, one time. But the theme is the same. So it's like, oh, you didn't understand about that remote. Now I'm going to have you swallow a spoon. Now I'm going to have you swallow a fork. Now we're going to go back to the remote. I think maybe you get this. And it keeps coming around. And that's what brings some people to dream work is they are so frustrated with this recurring dream that they can't stand it anymore. And once we understand the message, it will not come back, even if it's been going on for years and years. It just wants us to get the message. A nightmare comes because what does a nightmare do? It wakes us up.
Yeah.
We're like out of our, we're wide awake. And metaphorically, that is what it wants to do. Wake us up out of our sleepiness, walking through life, not noticing what's going on.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll have to try to pay attention more when I dream about swallowing spoons and
Do.
trying
I
to,
would be interested.
like, I tried Googling it, like maybe someone else has had this dream. And like, so I wrote dream about swallowing spoons and like nothing really comes up. So I was like, am I alone in the
No.
spoon swallowing world?
No, and if you are, that's doesn't reduce the importance of it to you. It's your message. And so again, instead of Googling, first thing, take paper and pencil and just write three adjectives. A spoon. What is a spoon? What is so just remember it's metaphorical symbolic. So a spoon is not a spoon in the dream. It's representing something. The remote is not a remote, a square thing. It's representing something else in the dream. All of this is representational. Color in dreams is important. Numbers in dreams. I don't know if y'all have done things with numerology and stuff, but numbers don't just show up accidentally in dreams. It would be, you know, like somebody will have something that's five, there's five, it was sold for 5 cents or something. And if I ask them, it's like, after we've been working on the dream, what happened to you when you were five? And they'll start crying because we realize that they're at 5 years old, their father left or something, or their mother left, and they went through a traumatic, and now they're going through a divorce. And our psyche does not forget. It knows exactly how old we are. It's all stored in there. And it is amazing. It comes up, it connects the two. And then you can look at how did I get through that? What were my, how am I going to get this? How does that, when I was a child, serve me to learn as an adult how I'm going to deal with a similar painful situation?
I feel like dream interpretation has been around a long time, and then there's instances in the Bible where
Yes.
Joseph interprets a Pharaoh's dream, and maybe that's a representation of our fascination with dreams from antiquity through today. Although I feel like maybe today we give less credence to dreams than we did before.
I totally agree with you, Sam. And that is why I am still working and still trying to wake people up. My goal throughout was to help make this world a kinder and gentler place, because once each of us understand ourselves and take responsibility for that authentic being that we're born to be, we have less projection on other people and making them bad and us good. And dreams do that so well. I used to, when I first started, I said, I really want to get the world leaders together into a dream group and sitting in a room, and I want them each to share a dream. And if they did that, there would be such a connection on the deep human level that they could not have war against each other. It is so powerful, and it shows our real humanness that, it's so important. And now, like you said, people are staying so busy and it takes too long. The minute people wake up, they grab their cell phones. I mean, we're all part of that, grab, like, did I get a text in the night? Is there an important email I need to take care of first thing this morning? So our mind goes from this quiet, reflective, bringing up unconscious information to that on with the day, just linear thinking instead of the deep thinking. And we have very little time, and we have the time for contemplative space in our lives, but we don't take the time because things move so fast. And like you said, the Bible, some people say, oh, I can't believe he worked in the church with dreams. I was like, are you kidding? Have you read the Bible? I mean, it's like, but a lot of people feel that way. They're really afraid of dreams and looking at their dreams because they're afraid of what it might tell them, about themselves, which is a beautiful thing because it's human nature and who they were born to be. But that's not the way a lot of people feel, and they're afraid to see that. But it's some cultures. We in the Institute for Dream Studies, we have a certification program that students study for a year in the field of dreams, and they're from all over the world. We've had people from Iceland, Japan, India, Israel, now Mexico, just everywhere, and all over the United States, Canada, of course, and it's amazing that some of their cultures, some of the people in our class now, they woke up talking about their dreams. It was part of their culture. They sat around the breakfast table, and that was seen as really important. And other people like me had no access, but gained interest in the dreams later in life. So
what is involved in the that dream study certificate? Because I was literally just about to ask when you brought it up, so it's like perfect timing.
We're connected. That's good. But the certification program, you basically just need an interest, a deep, committed interest in dreams. It is like a graduate program. It's 1 year now, and we do this program online. And we were fortunate when the pandemic came, because we were already finding that we needed to do more online because traveling was hard, and getting here from Iceland or the Netherlands or somewhere, travel was hard, as we all know, and getting harder. So it is an online, but we meet together and form a real unit, and they study, they do research, they work with their own dreams. I feel very passionate about that. Nobody can work with somebody else's dreams until they fully understand their own dreams, so they're not projecting out what they need to work on other people. And so it is a year of really inner work. They have to do their real tough inner work on seeing their own vulnerability, shadows, and things, but at the same time studying interesting people in the field of dreams that have made an impact in psychology, and Carl Jung and Freud. And, we have visiting people who, colleagues and friends now, like Stanley Krippner and Bob Haas and, Deidre Barrett, and just a lot of people in the field of dreams come and share with them too. So we love to have people come and share, and we just love to have them explore all aspects of the dreams. It's a very eclectic look at dreams.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say about the field of dreams. If you build it, he will come.
Well, it is true because, my institute, it still amazes me. I could not contact all the people if I was going to change the world, right? It was really hard for me to talk to everybody in the world. So I was like, I need some other, people to go out and talk. And of course, there are other people that are already involved in the world of dreams, but I wanted more people. So I decided I was going to start training people. And here I was. I mean, who did I think I was? But I I named it. I found a sheet the other day with all the names, that I thought, and there I had the one circled, the Institute for Dream Studies, and I announced I was doing it. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just said I was going to do it. I made a commitment to myself, and all of a sudden, people started saying they wanted to do it. I was like, really? Like, do you know I don't know what I'm doing?
I was gonna say it must have been exciting that very like you posted it, you put online that very first person, ding, you're like,
Oh,
wow.
right. Well, I'll tell you, I made for the International Association for the Study of Dreams, which is the big organization for dreams. I made a handout and it said Dream Certification Program, Institute for Dream Studies. And it had my contact, my email. And I took it to the conference. And people would go, oh, tell me more. I was like, could I get back with you? Because that's all I knew. That is what I knew. I knew the name of it. I knew my name. And I knew I was going to do something. But it turned into something big. And now Linda Mastrangelo is the director. And we do, every year I'm amazed. I'm like, how did these people come together? One from Israel and one from Canada and one from Mexico and one from Japan. 10 people coming together. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As we come to the end of our time, I do want to share your website here.
Oh, thank you.
And here's the website or the web address. And for anybody interested in reaching out, Justina has contact information available. There's lots of books that you can get. I think you have a dream journal or a guided dream journal available.
I do. It's not available right now, but that's sold out. But I'll make another one.
Another reprint.
So the Honoring the Dream, is that for your classes?
Yes, it is. It's the main textbook for the classes, and it has everything, even for about leading dream groups and about leadership in the field of dreams, and all the exercises that you can use for for your classes, and different handouts that you can give to people in the dream group. And people do not have to have a year's training to start a dream group. If you got the book and read it and went through it, you could start a dream group, because no harm can be done except when you try to tell people what their dream means.
Yeah.
But if you can stay open and just gather people together, let's talk about dreams. And there you are. And I noticed you put up there, Sam, about the Gladwing course. And that's so wonderful. If people are interested, a couple of times a year, I have this Finding Meaning and Guidance in Your Dream. And it's an interactive, it's online and available anytime you want. But I'm there every day to answer questions and respond to what dreams people share and things like that. So it's a 3-week course, and I commit to those 3 weeks of being available for people that want to explore. So that's a good first step for people interested in learning to work with their dreams.
And then just at the end, if you guys want to get in contact with Justina, she has a contact email, a field here for you guys to fill out to learn more, and you can also shop and order the materials that are available, including a one-on-one session. So
yeah,
please check it out. And Justina, thank you so much for joining us today.
I really enjoyed talking to both of you, Sam and Kyle. That's a lot of fun. And tonight, I want you to put paper and pencil by your bed. You can't be looking pencil because it writes anyway you are. Don't have to turn on the lights, wake anybody up, and just make some notes about what you're dreaming, because often I make the notes, I do not remember that dream the next morning at all.
All
So
right.
have fun with
I'll
it. And
commit
let me
Yeah.
hear.
to that.
I am.
Okay, good. Thank
Well,
you
very
so
good.
much.
Thank you. And for our audience, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate our live viewers and sharing all of your dreams for us to share with the YouTube and everybody else. If you like this content, subscribe so we can keep bringing it to you. And until next time,
Thanks, Lucifer.
keep on exploring the edges of the unknown.